The Spirit of DeMeo Award is a very significant award at CHOPS Teen Club. And as a board and an organization, we put a lot of thought into who our awardee will be. And this year, we're so proud that Hank Schrader is our Spirit of DeMeo awardee.
You know, Hank's got a lot of special qualities. He's very, very analytical. He's a critical thinker, and he's always asking why.
He was fabulous. He was open to me, and I really appreciate it, and to the changes that were needed.
He was just that guiding, calm, experienced person on the board that made it all work for the rest of us.
He is who he is. He's very authentic. He's very candid. He and I have a great relationship, so we don't have to puff up each other's egos. We just say what needs to be said.
All the events that Hank and his units over the years have participated in have been amazing.
And I think just working, again, behind the scenes, he's a doer, right? He wants to get things done, and people recognize that about him.
He was the guy that the rest of us went to whenever we kind of hit a dead end.
It seems like a no-brainer, right? He's the chief of police, or just recently retired chief of police. But Hank is so much more than his professional role.
Well, I think as an officer, Hank has been a very strong role model for the youth.
And oftentimes he was in the club and he was in his uniform, and you knew he was a police officer. But I think they saw that he was a real person, and he was approachable, and he was friendly, and he was caring, and he was interested.
I really think he got a lot of joy at being at CHOPS. He really enjoyed being here and being on the board. And it was really so important for our members to have really positive relationships with law enforcement.
You know, I think we as adults forget that kids are constantly watching us and listening to us and seeing what we do and what we say and how we treat them. And as a police officer, whether you're a beginning police officer or, like Hank was as a sergeant or as chief of police, you even have more of an impact on youth, on how you treat them and how you behave around them. What you do, your actions speak really loud to you.
I know he's been a big supporter of the Citizens Police Academy and the Youth Academy. He does a lot of events. He's on the CHOPS Board of Director. He and I actually put on a lot of different dinners for Community Child Care Council for CHOPS. I think there's been a couple of others where he has helped put on these events that raise money that ultimately assist the kids.
He obviously has had a lot of involvement over the years with different projects that affect youth. I mean, gang task forces and things that hit the newspaper, but I think lesser things like Boys and Girls Clubs and organizations like CHOPS. And Hank's always found time for them, and you can imagine how busy it is to be the police chief of a city the size of Santa Rosa, and yet he always found time.
One of the things that I can always remember him doing is help make breakfast for the youth when we were out doing Shop with a Cop, and he was steadfast every year out there making the mix for the pancakes and being willing to serve the kids as they're coming through. So that was one of the biggest highlights that I saw him over the last few years.
They joke with them, they're interested. If the kid shows an interest in being a police officer or law enforcement in any way, they talk to them about that. They build relationships with those young people, and those kinds of interactions carry with a young person forever.
And that's that direct connection between the youth of Santa Rosa and Sonoma County and its police department, because I think he's a believer that it's not community policing relationships. We're all part of the community, and he has really embedded that in both the culture of the police department and with a lot of our educational institutions around the city.
There are so many people, when I went out to start talking about who are awardee, that just had so many glowing and wonderful things to say. And I don't even think Hank is aware of his great impact on our community.
I want to thank him for all his years of service.
He's made a difference in the community, and we're all lucky to have Hank in our community. So congratulations, Hank.
We've known each other for so long. We know our lanes, we know our strengths, our weaknesses, we know where we can joke and jab at and where to stay away from. So he's just an all-around great guy, and it's been my pleasure to know him for like 25 years.
If Hank were sitting here today in front of me, I would tell him thank you very much for being the mentor and being the role model for us all and in the community. And the impact that you had with me and the rest of our team and the youth that you have been a part of over the last several years is going to leave a lasting legacy for the city of Santa Rosa.
The Spirit of DeMeo Award really highlights someone who has been deeply connected to the community. Of course, we're passionate about youth, so when we look at our awardee, we also look at someone that's really made a significant impact for the youth in our community, but just an overall dedication to making this world and our community a better place.